Welcome back to Bash Bros, an episode, oh god damn it, I didn't check again, 71 of Notorious Pro Wrestling, the TEW Let's Play series where we find out what exactly would happen if Conor McGregor started his own wrestling promotion. I am buzzed, brothers and sisters, I'm buzzed because we're back for the King is Back PPV. I'm back. I'm not the king. We are back for our July pay-per-view. The King is back. And it's been about a week since you guys were last here, so we will take a look at the wanted that you missed. Good, solid outing, 65 rated show from the Borough Hall in Northern England. And on this show, we continue Jay Lethal versus Chris Hero. Chris Hero currently out injured at the hands of Jay Lethal. So he's kind of in a mini feud now with James Storm. They had a match. It ended with a weapon attack by Jay Lethal. And then James Storm was like, if that's how you want to play, let's have a hardcore match at the pay-per-view. And that will be happening tonight. Then mixed tag action, Crazy Mary Dobson and Sonico defeated Dynasty, and that led to a big kind of almost pull apart brawl between Tessa and Crazy Mary Dobson, and Conor came out and announced a Falls Count Anywhere match between the two for the Women's Championship. Riho defeated Debbie Keitel in the Women's Eliminator Tournament and has moved on to the semi-finals where she will face Kaylee Ray. I think. I'll maybe check that. Also a part of this is the Grado Desperation angle, where Riho is his only active participant, client, that's the word, left, and is begging her not to leave him. And then tag action again as two former rivals, Kenny Williams and Mandrews, defeated Dean Allmark and Ken Malmsteen, and after the match, Kenny kicked Mark Andrews square in the balls. And then just kind of stared at him on the ground. This is a part of this, us turning Mark Andrews into the Welsh Darby Allin, pretty much. So that is what you have missed. Let's talk about news, and let's talk about news in our own company. First big news then is that we have officially signed Kenny Omega. This was discussed last time. Kenny had renewed his contract with AEW and gone from a exclusive deal to a handshake deal. And I was like, fuck yeah, get in my company. Kenny is a perfect fit for our company where we kind of prioritize performance over overness. He is one of, if not the best workers in the game. Like, there's no weakness. Like, he has, like, look at, there's no weakness here. His announcing's not great. But even his color commentary is average. Like, he is OP. I know which storyline he'll be introduced in. He will not be introduced just yet. Probably about a month or two before he really will arrive on our screens. Still characterized as a AEW Trueborn, which is weird. Maybe that means we will not be able to sign him to an exclusive deal whenever we kind of hit that medium size. Still a fantastic signing for our roster. Next on the world news, and WWE/NXT UK are being assholes once again. They signed Connor Mills this week in game. Connor is a good worker. He is working he's working across a lot of UK companies at the minute, and is the current one half of the current Progress Tag Champs. So unfortunately, yeah, that's I'm not too annoyed at the end of the day. He is a good signing, but I think we have better workers. He would have been great to bring in to bolster our ranks up once we kind of go to a medium size, and we need a bit more depth in the mid card, especially since once we hit mid size, I plan to make Wanted 2 hours long. But yeah, so NXT and WWE are making moves. They have also extended Toni Storm's contract. Toni Storm, I would have loved to have gotten for our women's division. But unfortunately, she is staying with WWE and is currently being featured on NXT. I don't know if I'm allowed to be annoyed about this one. I really don't. So Amir Jordan was with us. We released him because he wasn't great and has now gone to NXT UK. I feel kind of slighted. I'm a bit annoyed. I don't think I'm allowed to be annoyed, but I am. Yeah, so we released him because he was originally going to be a part of the Grado Talent Agency and be the tag team part of that faction with Kenny Williams. And then it turned out him and Kenny Williams have awful chemistry together. And once that kind of happened and Kenny then split away from GTA, Amir was just kind of there. He wasn't really doing much. He wasn't fantastic as an in-ring performer. And so we released him. Like we did that injury angle not long ago where Eddie injured him. And then that started the whole Eddie Dennis versus Mandrew's feud. This annoyed me. This really annoyed. I feel so betrayed by this. But yes, so Amir Jordan, fucking snake in the grass, is now with NXT UK. So although it is not listed here, I should show. So Zia is currently in the middle of renegotiating with WWE. Now, the last time this happened for us, it was with Viper, and they re-signed her to an exclusive deal. I would say the same thing is probably going to happen with Zia. So yes, I could see her time with Notorious coming to an end. And the last bit of world news is that, yes, you're reading that right. Ronda Rousey, baddest bitch in the world, has joined Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. So she was in the Notorious universe on maternity. She must have come back from maternity. And WWE didn't renew her contract or didn't pick her back up, but Pro Wrestling Guerrilla did. That's a hell of a signing. That really, really is a hell of a signing. Yeah, I mean, like, that's... So, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla in this have become a bit of a powerhouse. They are great. They got a TV deal for their 3-count show, and their 3-count show consistently is hitting 70s, 60, pretty much high 60 to 70s every week. Like, it's kind of mental. So I'm not surprised. I actually think that they could easily be. So we have covered what you guys have missed. We have covered the news that has happened in our company and around the Notorious universe. Let's look at the match card for tonight's The King is Back pay-per-view. Jay Lethal's character has changed since his loss to Chris Hero last month. The rivalry took its toll on Jay, and his ego wouldn't allow him to be second best to Chris Hero, viciously attacking Chris on the Fallout show. Jay's friend Jonathan Grisham tried to get involved, but couldn't pull off Lethal from his relentless assault, and it took James Storm to come down and physically put himself between a downed Hero and the crazed Jay Lethal. 2 weeks later, the two had a match, and after using a weapon and a low blow, Jay Lethal was able to overcome James Storm. But the Cowboy didn't like that, and said if this is the way Jay wanted to do things, he would oblige. And the setup for tonight is James Storm versus Jay Lethal in a hardcore match. Crazy Mary Dobson finally went off the deep end. After losing to Tessa Blanchard, she destroyed the old Notorious Pro Wrestling Women's Championship and then joined forces with Jake the Snake Roberts. Since then, Mary and Tessa have waged war on each other, culminating in Conor McGregor putting the two women in a Falls Count Anywhere match, since he knows that the ring cannot contain these two bitter rivals. Can Tessa overcome a crazy Mary Dobson with Jake in her corner? So we will find out tonight. Possibly the biggest signing in Notorious Pro Wrestling history. Nick Aldis has joined Conor McGregor's company, and he has decided to drag Notorious Pro Wrestling to the top, kicking and screaming if he has to. And his first order of business is to recruit his former tag partner, Doug Williams. Doug is a bit hesitant, as he is happily retired and bringing up future stars such as Miles Kamen and the Billington Bulldogs. But he did agree to one more match as the British Invasion whenever he found out their opponents would be the Grizzled Young Vets, who are currently allies of Doug's former protege, Easton Reese. So tonight, for one match only, Doug Williams comes out of retirement and British Invasion reunites to take on the Grizzled Young Veterans. Dynasty have beat everyone when it comes to defending their tag titles. Aussie Open, Kings of the North, Birds of Prey, you name them, and Dynasty has beaten them. But can they overcome the odds tonight when they take on Aussie Open, Birds of Prey and Lyco's Gym in a 4-way TLC match? Aussie Open have claimed that if they can't win the titles this time, they will disband as a tag team. Birds of Prey are still trying to prove that they are not a joke. And Lyco's Gym, they're just bastards. There's no other way to describe them. Each team has a chip on their shoulder, and it will lead to one hell of a match tonight. From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, Ace Austin has been on a bit of a roller coaster. Getting a clean sweep in the P12 tournament, going on to win the tournament finals, he was at an all-time high. Then he lost to Pentagon Jr., then he lost to Carlos Romo, and now his former bodyguard Will Hobbs turned on him, leading to this confrontation tonight. Austin says he always has an ace up his sleeve, so what does he have in store for tonight's match against his former muscle, the embodiment of willpower, Will Hobbs? And in our main event, Carlos Romo came back from being betrayed by his best friend Ace Austin and vanquished the monkey that's been sitting on his shoulder. Is that the right phrase? We'll say it is. After that monumental victory, Carlos then went on to win a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match for the Notorious Pro Wrestling title, and now goes on to face a dominant Pentagon Jr. After putting his rivalry with Sonico and Jake the Snake to bed, Pentagon has been knocking down challenger after challenger after challenger for his belt. So will we see another challenger knocked on his ass? Will Carlos Romo win the Notorious Pro Wrestling Championship? So that's our card tonight, guys. We have one match on the pre-show as well, which is a 6-woman tag. Just get some of the knocked out competitors from the tournament some more time. So with everything covered, let's book the show. Okay, and we are back, coming at you from the Tivoli Theatre in Dublin. At least I think, yeah, that's where we are. It is Notorious Pro Wrestling, The King is Back pay-per-view. Yeah, we had absolutely no issues in terms of booking this card. Any concerns? I have Jay Lethal and James Storm as a hardcore type match. I don't know if our audience will be put off by that. Hopefully not. And then Carlos Romo versus Pentagon Jr. Both good workers, but Carlos' psychology is not fantastic, so for him to go 20 minutes might be asking a bit much. But we'll see. We will see. So, let us start the show. Backstage interview. Jen asked Jonathan what's going on with Jay Lethal, and Grisham doesn't know. He says he's never seen Jay like this before. Yeah, he's always had a mean side, in ROH, but never this psychotic. That's a 55. That's just to give Jonathan Grisham a bit of promo time. He's a great in-ring worker. His mic skills are not great, so we try and force him onto the microphone. Hopefully those skills will go up and he will become a better all-round competitor. And in a pre-show match, am I really going to read out all these people? The heels defeated the faces. We'll just leave it at that. In 15-16, when Raven Creed pinned Amy Alonzi. Amy had a 38, Rachel had a 42, Angel had a 31, Nicole had a 46, Gia had a 32, and Raven had a 37. Was not expecting a crazy, like anything amazing in this match. You know, this is essentially, if you want to see what our mid card of our women's division looks like, here it is. So yeah, this is just to kind of give everyone a bit of just a fun, wee, chaotic match to open up. 43 overall. Now on to the main card. In a superb match, British Invasion defeated Grizzled Young Vets in 14:46 when Aldous pinned James Drake. Aldous had a 61. Dog a 61. He still got it. He fucking still has it. Look at him. Oh, he's so good. Wish he wasn't going to legitimately retire in like a month's time. Zach Gibson a 59 and James Drake a 57. All in all, a 59 rated match. That is good. Doug still has it. Oh, put the title on him. Next up, and about that had great heat and good wrestling, Ace Austin defeated Will Hobbs in 14:31 after a distraction from Angelina Love. Yes, Angelina Love. Talk about that in a bit. Ace Austin got a 59, Will Hobbs got a 48, and Angelina debuted her sensational Sugar Mama gimmick and got it great. And Ace will also be changing to his top toy boy gimmick, and it got great as well. Probably a bit of a weird pairing, you're thinking, but there's method to my madness. So Ace Austin is a fantastic all-round performer. Not terrible on the mic. He's about a 60-ish on the mic, and he's one of our best competitors. Like 59 for him is actually probably lower than it has been recently. The reason why I wanted to bring in Angelina Love, I wanted to give Ace a manager because he's a sneaky heel and he doesn't have his muscle now with Will Hobbs. I feel like a manager suits that kind of character. So when I went looking for a manager, I couldn't find anyone who would have benefited Ace Austin in terms of mic skills, apart from Angelina Love. She has, I think, about a 70 in terms of her mic skills, acting skills, entertainment skills. And I thought that was a weird pairing because of the age gap, and then I kind of thought, actually, that kind of works. So that's going to be their kind of gimmick going forward, is Ace Austin is going to be her toy boy. And so that's why it's the top toy boy gimmick and the sensational Sugar Mama gimmick. In terms of what that looks like on screen, think about the obnoxiousness. Think about how obnoxious Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara are on AEW right now. That is pretty much what Ace and Angelina Love will be doing going forward. Next up, and about to have fantastic heat and great wrestling, Jay Lethal defeated James Storm with a flying elbow drop. James had a 57 and Jay had a 60. 61 overall. Great match. Jay is one of our best competitors. Actually overperformed due to, I assume just because it was heel face, and maybe the hardcore match helped boost it up a wee bit. Yeah, awesome. Really, really good to see. Jay Lethal is going to prove to be one hell of a heel for us, I think. Post-match, Lethal tries to cut open or just like stabs at James Storm's head with like a broken beer bottle, and Gresham has to come out and forcibly remove him. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is attempted murder. And then Jay kind of like shoulder barges him and walks off. 60 rated segment, which is good. Next up, and about that, a fantastic heat and good wrestling, Tessa Blanchard defeated Crazy Mary Dobson in a last man standing match in 1756 when Crazy Mary Dobson could not beat the 10 count. You do like some crazy thing like a pile driver on concrete that really sealed the deal. And Crazy Mary Dobson, new profile picture or thumbnail just with her heel turn. That's defense number 7 for Tessa. 54 from Tessa, a 54 from Mary, a 60 from Tessa. Oh yeah. Damn it. Sorry, so the match went a little too long given its aim. I put it as a wild brawl and I had it about 18 minutes. That's right. Oh, that's my fault. I've been playing this game for years, and how did I forget about that? My bad. At 52 overall, which is still okay, still good. Post-match, Connor comes out and awards Tessa the new Notorious Pro Wrestling Women's title. So this is kind of going to lead to a champion versus fake champion match next month. And the main reason for doing it was because I hated the design of the old Notorious Pro Wrestling Women's Championship. 80 rated segment because Connor talked good. Next up in a promo, Dynasty are pissed. They say they've beaten everyone, and to even try and make it fair, Conor McGregor had to stack the odds against them against 3 different teams. Bunch of bonuses there between the chemistry and having Natalya help them. 60 promo overall, which is great. And in the match itself, in a superb match, Aussie Open defeated Birds of Prey, Lycos Gym and Dynasty in a TLC match when Mark Davis retrieved the title, and they win the Notorious Pro Wrestling Tag Titles. Yes, I finally pulled the trigger on Aussie Open winning the titles. Kyle had a 61, Mark had a 60, Rich had a 58, Judy had a 50, Kid Lycos Jr. had a 56, Lycos had a 58, Davey Boy had a 60, and Joe had a 59. And a whole host of bonuses for chemistry and tag partners. 60 overall. That is a great match. It was always going to be madness, but that is a great match. Yeah, so I've decided to pull the trigger on Aussie Open. We'll maybe look at getting them a manager further down the line. Again, their promos are not great, but they are our best tag team in terms of in-ring performance. So yeah, it makes sense to give them the belts. Next up in a backstage promo, Jen interviews Pentagon Jr. and Pentagon respects Carlos, but that is not a good thing, because he will now come at him with everything he has to make sure he retains his championship. 58 rated promo. And in the match itself, in an exceptional match, Pentagon defeated Carlos Romo in 2018 with a top rope styles clash, which makes defense number 12 for Pentagon. Carlos had a 60, which is great. Pentagon has 65, which is also great. 63 rated match, which is fantastic. Good job, guys. And that's the show. 65 overall. I will take that. That is a good show. Only real news then coming out of the pay-per-view is that Tommy Dreamer is set to retire. And although it's not really news, just a formality, Charlotte Flair has got her 7th Raw Women's Championship. How many does that make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Women Championship wins. Like, she's good, but god damn, that's too many. It really is. Right guys, so that is it for another week. Next time you guys will be back will be next week, just to cover the Fallout show from the King is Back pay-per-view. We'll go over all the storylines then going forward for the next month. Not a massive amount of changes, I don't think. Maybe just one. Yeah, and after that then, I don't think you guys will really be back until the next pay-per-view, which will be Wind Your Neck In. And the reason you guys will be coming back for that is we will have the finals of the Women's Eliminator Tournament. So if you did enjoy this episode, leave a like and subscribe to the Bash Bros channel for this and many other great shows from myself, Nick, Alex and IY. If you have any suggestions for tag team storylines, feuds, anything like that, please do stick them in the comments below and I will try and book it for you. And with all that being said, I will see you next time on Bash Bros.